Hey everyone, welcome to Reading the Bible to Cats. I'm back from my vacation in the Bahamas, which was really great. I just am in love with the water there. It's like crystal clear, and you can see like it's sometimes turquoise and sometimes the most beautiful blue. Um, I love that water. I floated and got some vitamin D, and it was just really nice to be with my friends and to have coffee in the morning and just hang out. Um, what else? Yeah, it just felt healing. Um, yeah, it was so neat. We were like staying in this little villa, not like a major resort or anything, but it was on this lagoon, and um, every in the late afternoon, every probably around 4, this little stingray would like swim and circle in the lagoon, and you could just watch the stingray. I like stingrays. I think they're really cute. You just don't want to step on their tail, but but it was really so graceful in the water. It was like, you know, flying in the water, and I just think they're really cute. On a previous trip to the Bahamas years and years ago, I did swim with stingrays and was able to feed them. And their little snouts, these particular stingrays, were so soft. It was like the softest thing I'd ever touched, like velvet. And they were like little puppies in the water. But yeah, I guess you just need to avoid you know, their end parts, their tail. um, but yeah, it was great. The kitties enjoyed their cat sitter. They played a lot and had fun. And yeah, Guster's tired. But what else can I say? I feel like there was a lot to catch up on. Oh, yeah, I had a toe mishap. I'm so accident prone. I have like this, and then we'll read the Bible. I have this huge 32-ounce stainless steel water bottle, Brita water bottle, and it was full, and somehow it was like a projectile missile. Somehow I knocked it off this high table, and it kind of, acted like a projectile missile straight for my big toe and slammed into my big toe, and I was certain I broke it. Um, I broke my other toe this time last year. It's ridiculous. But I don't know if it's truly broken because it feels a lot better and I can walk on it fine. So anyway, thank you all for the prayers. Yeah, I feel like there's catching up to do. I just want to emphasize how I so appreciate your prayers. Really, like your prayers are more precious to me than millions of dollars, which I don't have. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. Um, my like a praise report. My car. I remember in one of my videos I was like lamenting and detailing my car woes, because I took it to the dealer, which was a mistake. The Lexus dealer. It's an old Lexus. It's a 2005 SC430, which is a beautiful car. But so anyway, they did a diagnostic on it, and it was like to fix it would cost, according to them, over $18,000. Well, of course, I freaked out because I rely on my car for work. Like I have to have a reliable car. That was more than I paid for the car. I mean, so I was like, oh my gosh, So if you listen to that video, I kind of freaked out. But here's the praise report. I did get a second opinion, and I went to the car doctor basically here, and Anyway, long story short, it they fixed it. They did everything for $2,000, for a little over $2,000. I mean, it's still a big chunk. I remember when you would, pay like a couple of hundred to get your car fixed. But anyway, isn't that so much better than 18,000? And they said your car's in good condition. I mean, it'll keep going. So they were really nice. Of course, I'm in a little bit of debt, but that's okay. I'm just happy to have the car back. So yeah, praise report, praise report. Thank you everybody for your prayers. Well, let's read the Bible, and I just opened to Proverbs. And I'll read Proverbs chapter 22. A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all. A prudent man sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth and honor and life. In the paths of the wicked lie thorns and snares, but he who guards his soul stays far from them. Train a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn from it. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. He who sows wickedness reaps trouble, and the rod of his fury will be destroyed. A generous man will himself be blessed, for he shares his food with the poor. Drive out the mocker, and out goes strife, quarrels, and insults are ended. He who loves a pure heart and whose speech is gracious will have the king for his friend. The eyes of the Lord keep watch over knowledge, but he frustrates the words of the unfaithful. The sluggard says, "There is a lion outside," or "I will be murdered in the streets." The mouth of an adulteress is a deep pit. He who is under the Lord's wrath will fall into it. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline will drive it far from him. He who oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and he who gives gifts to the rich, both come to poverty. Pay attention and listen to the sayings of the wise. Apply your heart to what I teach, for it is pleasing when you keep them in your heart and have all of them ready on your lips, so that your trust may be in the Lord. I teach you today, even you. Have I not written 30 sayings for you? Sayings of counsel and knowledge, teaching you true and reliable words, so that you can give sound answers to him who sent you. Do not exploit the poor, because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court, for the Lord will take up their case and will plunder those who plunder them. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered man. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn his ways and get yourself ensnared. Do not be a man who strikes hands in pledge or puts up security for debts. If you lack the means to pay, Your very bed will be snatched from under you. Do not move an ancient boundary stone set up by your forefathers. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will serve before kings. He will not serve before obscure men. Okay, everybody, that's the end of Proverbs chapter 22. And yeah, I like it. I like how, the heart, God's heart for the poor is really evident in this chapter. And, he takes up their case. Verse 22, do not exploit the poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court, for the Lord will take up their case and will plunder those who plunder them. I mean, you don't want to do that. And then verse 9, a generous man will himself be blessed, for he shares his food with the poor. Yeah. You just see God's heart for the poor. Let's see that's just a lot in here. Oh yeah, verse 7, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower, I can't say that word, why am I having trouble? The borrower is servant to the lender. And then there was, verse 27, if you lack the means to pay, your very bed will be snatched from under you. Yeah, it's like, don't be in debt, which I am in some debt now because of the car. It's like, but yeah, it's like, oops, gotta pay things off quickly, or just, God provides though. What else about this? Verse 24. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered man. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn his ways and get yourself ensnared. That one kind of comes to mind a lot. I think I've talked about my family issues and my brother who cut me off, which I can't tell you how painful and betrayed I felt. Like, he blocked me from all social media, and he threatened to sue me and all this stuff. It was about a year after my mom died. Oh gosh, I mean, it's like, well, at least I'm anonymous, so it's not like I'm outing anybody. You know what I mean? Some of you know me, so then you'll know who I'm talking about. But yeah, it was weird because, well, he's always been extremely rage-filled, like hot-tempered. Like, I've never met anybody with rage like he has, this explosive rage. And he's always had it. But anyway, my mom was on hospice, and it was just bad. I don't even know if I can go into it all, just how he was. His wife had bought my mother a condo, and and they were paying the mortgage on it, which was wonderful. But when my mom was dying and on hospice, he suddenly got this divorce from his wife, and then let me know that he was not going to be able to pay the mortgage, and that I had to pay it or move my mom. And it was like, she was on hospice and dying, and he wouldn't come out to see her. And suddenly, so I had to set up a GoFundMe for that in order to pay for a month's worth of mortgage, which was really humiliating. And not to mention that he wouldn't come out to see his dying mother. So anyway, all that happened. And then my mom died, and he would not come out. it was just me and my sister kind of trying to take care of things. But my mom was an artist and she had all these paintings. And I was like, don't you want to come out? At least this was after she died, to pick out, your paintings, pick out the paintings that you want. I'm picking out the ones I want, oh, I don't want to say my sister's name. Anyway, my our sister's picking out what she wants. And and he was like, no, I don't want any of her paintings. So, I set aside a box for him of, no, this is going to be a long video, of things that I thought would be meaningful to him, like a little baby bracelet and some notes that my mom left. And anyway, then we had the funeral, which was a green funeral, and it was really a beautiful service, but he wouldn't come to that. He said he couldn't do it. Anyway, all this, long story short, I forgave him all that stuff. Oh, and by the way, he really bullied me into getting everything out of that condo as fast as I could. I can't tell you how awful that was, because I had to I had to find precious things that I wanted to keep, like Bibles and notes that my mom was a writer too. She journaled and wrote a lot. So I went through all this stuff and tried to establish what was meaningful to me that I could preserve, because he wanted everything thrown out, basically. Anyway, long story short, I forgave him all that, because he was going through a terrible time with the divorce and blah, blah, blah. So I forgave him. And then I thought, okay, well, we'll get through this. And then I thought, oh, we're developing a connection, because he would open up and be vulnerable and call and all this stuff. So of course I forgave him. Anyway, he was one of the reasons I moved to DC, because he was living here, and then my best friend was living here. Long story short, he ended up moving to New York, and he met someone and got married. And then he was in New York, and he met some big wig art person who he happened to show photos of my mom's artwork to. And she was like, oh my goodness. She was like, your mom should have a retrospective, and I know people. Anyway, she was this big deal, apparently, and recognized the talent and wanted, to get my mom a gallery, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so he texted me and then told me about this woman, and then suddenly accused me of hoarding all my mother's artwork and being really selfish and caring only about money. And and he said that he wanted to come in and take photos of everything, and this was about mom's legacy, and we need to, he wanted to just basically take all the paintings, even the ones that I had picked out, and give them to this lady to, I don't know, auction them, show them in galleries, blah, 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 blah. Well, I was attached to my paintings, because it's like I can see my mom's spirit in the paintings that I picked out, because it's like my connection to my mother. So I just texted and I said, well, give me her number, and I'll talk to her, just so I could be a part of the equation. And at that point, he said that he would no longer talk to me, and that he was cutting me off. Oh, and that the next time he talked to me, it would be through his lawyer, because he was going to sue me. And he said, and you probably won't be able to afford a lawyer, so too bad. It was just this evil, awful email. And then it's been really a cutoff ever since. I mean, he was just, can't tell you, and this was on the heels of my cat. This was like a year after my mom died, and my cat Joey had just died, and I was devastated, and the whole thing devastated me. Um, and so I just think of that verse. He's a hot tempered man. Verse 24: Do not make friends with a hot tempered man. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn his ways and get yourself ensnared. I mean, I forgive my brother, and I miss my brother, even though he's abusive, and hot and just hot tempered, like rageful. But what can I do? I mean, he's cut me off, and it was such an ugly, ugly thing. And of course, I would have worked with him. Of course I want my mom's art to be out in the world. But it was just so ugly, and he just jumped the gun by exploding and making it something horrible, um, and accusing me of all these things, and then threatening to sue me, which terrified me. Well, he never did sue me, um, but it's too bad because I would have loved to have, had a decent brother, a kind brother who we could have worked together on this, with my mom, with my mom's art. But anyway, everybody, that's TMI. But yeah, you can pray for him and me about that. I do have like a room full of her art because I have the second bedroom in my place, and it's full of her art and some of my paintings. But I, you know, I would have worked with him, but I guess he just wanted to. I don't know. He just blew up. I mean, he didn't even have a conversation. He just suddenly went to this really dark place with it. But I do think my mom's art should be out there, but I don't know. I was grieving. I was grieving the loss of my mom and my cat, and it was just so ugly. But anyway, too much TMI. I hope it doesn't, you know, put a wet blanket on our reading the Bible to cats session today. But I think about that verse, verse 24 and 25. Yeah, do not make friends with a hot-tempered man. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn his ways and get yourself ensnared. But, when it's your brother, it's like complicated. Well, it's like wah wah. Sorry, Debbie Downer. Anyway, let's say a prayer because this is going to be a long one, and I guess I should go to work. Yeah, I'll say a prayer. Lord, I lift this up to you, and I don't know how to pray for my brother, but I wish he would, his heart would soften or change, and I don't know, just help him to turn to you more. Pray for everybody. Oops, we're losing a kitty. Pray for everybody out there who maybe has issues with their family, whether it's their siblings or parents, or I don't know who it might be in their family, but maybe there's estrangement or pain or abuse. I just pray that you would help them navigate those relationships, and if need be, be removed from them if it's like toxic and painful. and bad for them or harmful. But we do pray for healing and reconciliation if possible. And I lift up, Lord, the Christians in Syria who seem to be in danger or have been hurt or endangered by that new regime. Pray for your protection and for your supernatural strength. And pray for all believers throughout the world who are undergoing persecution or suffering. Always pray for the peace of Jerusalem, for the protection of Israel, and for the healing of the hostages who have survived terrors, and for any remaining hostages that remain, that they would be set free. And I haven't followed the news, so I'm not up on what's happening. I pray for my country for, I don't know, a lowering of prices, of grocery prices and things that seem to be higher to me. And pray for peace among people here in my country. And just pray all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name, in Jesus' name. Amen, everybody. All right, everybody. Gosh, I kind of shared my dirty laundry. Oops. But maybe it'll, maybe, I'm sure a lot of you know what it's like, It's not uncommon to have these tensions and problems in the family. It's just sad. And there are jealousies sometimes among siblings. My brother I'm the baby and he's older, but he was always insanely jealous of me for some reason. But I'm sure, if you have a family without any of these issues, you're truly blessed. But look at these two siblings. They love each other. They do fight, but they always reconcile. They always get along. And they don't threaten to sue each other. And they don't cut each other off. They might cut each other off for an afternoon or something. But in fact, they were fighting this morning. But look, they came back together. They're being really cute right now. That's why I don't want to turn off the camera, and I'm just kind of blabbing. Maybe let's end on a happy note, and I'll talk about the vacation. So, while the kitties are cute. Yeah, it was just really healing. It was beautifully bright, sunny. The water was crystal clear, blue, like such a beautiful blue, and sometimes turquoise. It was windy the first few days, but then just gorgeous. And it was just so nice to be with my two friends. And, I'm an extrovert, so I get my energy from people. And I just like to be around people. I don't like to be alone, actually. I do live alone, but I don't think it's the best for me. But anyway, yeah, so that was great. What else? Yeah, it's just a really beautiful island. It is expensive there. In terms of groceries there were really exorbitant. But even more than here. But yeah, but it's like just beautiful there. What else can I share? Well, I don't know. But look how cute the kitties are. Look at that. Oh, and to the new subscribers, thanks for joining. And just as a way of, for your information, Guster and Henry, the kitties, they're technically not my kitties. They're my best friends, and I'm long-term cat sitting them. And I'm sure that day will come when they go back to their mommy, but we'll work it out. No worries. we'll figure something out with this channel and with the kitties. I'll still be in their lives somehow. But yeah, well, I think that's about it now. The kitties are adorable, but I'm going to go now because I have to go to work. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.